Welcome back to the Final Fantasy Tactics All Oracle Single Class Challenge recorded in December of 2021. There is our friends Rad and Olivia as we go on to Chapter 2 here in this game. We finished up Chapter 1 with Fort Zeekden going boom boom and bye-bye. Now we've jumped forward in time a little bit. We are going to the Slums in Dorter, the Dorter Trade City battle again. This is where we have Gafgarian and Agrius as guest characters in our party. Not much we can do to control what they do. This is, I think it's Vormov here, who tries to hire these mercenaries to assassinate the party. And the mercenaries have a pretty varied group, but they're the usual kind of gang of, I guess, brigands. They've got thieves, you got archers, you got some characters you would think would be the usual characters you might hire to do a job like this. It's pretty interesting. You are outnumbered by these guys and outpowered, but also you are outpositioned, I guess I'll say. They have the high ground on your characters, and that can be critical for archers that have bows. They can really get quite long shots. 1, 2, 3. I guess I've got 6 characters. I don't know if we're outnumbered, I guess, on the other hand. Yeah, so we got Thief, we got 2 archers, we have a couple wizards. I believe there's a female thief in there as well, as I'm just looking at this at the top of my head. So the thief comes down, is going to throw a stone at one of the rando oracles in the back, and that's okay. Gafgarian is going to do his thing. I didn't, before we got into this fight, I didn't take all their stuff off. I left them just kind of as they were. Again, because these characters usually don't really factor in much to my preparation for these fights, the guests. So I didn't think to make any changes there. So they're still going to have their powered stuff. And they're going to charge right into the thick of battle here. And that's okay. I don't mind them charging right on up. Does not bother me at all. They're going to take quite a bit of damage. So there's a crossbow from that archer. So she won't be able to take advantage of the height differential. That archer will, though, for sure. Even before she takes the shot, I can tell that she has a long bow that benefits from every 2 tiles or every 2 height you are higher than your target, you get 1 extra tile of distance. Wizards are going to cause some trouble here too. Now that wizard looks like he's got white magic, going to cast Protect on that thief. So now we finally got our turns. We got our guests out of the way. We've got the faster enemies out of the way. I'm looking to see when my spells will go out and how effective they'll be. There's going to be a lot of calculating in this battle of looking to see what's the best one to do here, what's the best move to make. Ramza is going to jump back there with Gafgarian. Gafgarian kind of surprisingly taking a cowardly line there. Despite his heavy armored class, he's he took a swipe at that thief up there and then just goes to run away. Our oracles don't have access to the sticks yet, so we can't really do good physical damage if we need to. And looks like this oracle is going to back up as well. We're mostly trying to get out of the line of sight of that archer, just to make it harder for that archer to lob arrows down at us. And we're still going to be boosting ourselves with Pray Faith. Pray Faith is a good holding move. It's a good waiting move for our characters, and it does help our percentages a little bit. It doesn't go up like directly because I've talked about the formula for landing any kind of 2-hit spell things, where it multiplies by your faith over 100 and then the enemy's faith over 100, or the target's faith over 100. So you don't directly get the benefit if your faith goes up, say, by 25%, you don't get a 25% boost. You just don't lose a 25% deficit on the calculation there. So you should look that up because it's hard to describe in words what that formula looks like, but it's pretty intuitive when you see it written out. Anyway, that first Petrify goes down. That thief is good. We are set to go on that thief. Let's see if we can get this archer as well. This is the crossbow archer. Miss that one. You're going to miss a lot. You're going to miss all of the petrifies that you don't cast, though, however. So you're going to have to take a risk sometimes and just try to cast petrify. Take them out of commission. And this is interesting. Gafgarian coming out here to cast some white magic. There we go. And the wizard's coming down to go after Agrius. So I guess I don't mind having Protect cast on us by a guest character. I'll find out later in this run that guest characters with Oracle abilities will do some really, really silly and sometimes outright dangerous things to your party. So I guess I'm a little bit glad that they don't have access to that kind of stuff in these battles, because who knows what they'd be doing. Because later on when I do use Agrius as that Oracle, when she gets enough JP to gain the job, she does some wild stuff. She makes some wacky choices, let's say. Anyway, the archer's charging on Gafgarian there, so I don't mind. Gafgarian came out to become the target for the archer out there. Now to see what I want to do with Ramza. First, we're going to see when is stuff going to fire off. When can I get some things to go? We've got a Fire 2 going. I'm just looking. I don't know why I'd look quite that far down. Petrify is going to be after a few more characters go. So I'm looking to see who can I hit. And I also, I'm down a little bit of life because I've taken some damage, taken some hits. And if I had access to the stick, it'd actually be good. I'd come over here and I'd whack that archer in the back. But we don't have access to the sticks, and the rods are pretty risky because the rods do very tiny damage themselves when you do the attack. They have a chance to cast a spell, like Ice Rod has a chance to cast an ice spell, which will do pretty nice damage. But unfortunately, that is not something you can really rely on. Not something I want to go out into the open for. But the sticks will do nice damage when we do get access to them, and they have the reach of 2 tiles, so that's good. So we're charging, trying to take out this archer down here, just again to avoid some of the damage. The wizards are, from our characters, if they stay at the bottom, the wizards are probably 2 moves away from getting into range of our characters. Just on the... Well, the lower wizard is probably within 1 move of getting us, but the one at the very top would be 2 moves. So having Agrius up there as kind of a magic decoy for the wizards is nice. I wish Gafgarian had gone up there as well, so that the wizards had a couple of guest enemies or guest characters to harass while we took care of our business down here. And here's where I'm just looking to see how much can we do, what's the best one to do. There's a lot of decision making in the Oracle single class challenge, which is actually a good thing. Obviously you want to have many good lines to go for. When I did the Archers challenge, the line was generally just do as much damage as you can and run away. Try to stay out of reach and just keep shooting everything you could with your bows. So there was a little bit less decision making in a lot of battles. Agrius doing a really nice job guarding that one. I think that's her shield, or I don't know if she has a mantle on when she first comes in. This is Ramza going to try to life drain, and it does land on that archer, so he does get the benefit. He recovers some hit points, and now let's see if we can have another one. Looks like that's going to hit as well, so she's going to recover some life as well. Now that archer is going to be low, maybe we can land that third one and take her all the way out. Sure enough, we do. So we picked up a lot of hit points and, of course, took that archer out. That was quite successful, and then, of course, the last casting did not work, but maybe that was just the strategy, was try to get all 4 there and hope enough of them landed. So that fire was not guarded by Agrius. That's okay. That fire spell, not guarded. Okay, and here's Gafgarian again with his white magic shenanigans. Going to cast Protect on Agrius, despite the fact that the only physical attacker left is the lone archer that's up there. Shell would be a much better choice, but I don't think he has that learned when he comes in. And now here's Agrius going for Stasis Sword on the one that's not charging on her. She could have just probably swung her sword and done a ton of damage to the one that's charging on her. But of course she moved into position to have the spell land on that wizard as well, I think is probably what the AI was thinking. But the AI does make some curious choices, as you know. And here comes looks like maybe a Cure 2. Cure or a Cure 2, I can't really tell. Looking to see where my Petrify will land, as usual for these kinds of fights. Where are we going with that Petrify? Can I get up? And I'm looking to see which spells are firing off and when, and how does that compare to when my Petrify will go off. But I think it's safe enough to start coming up, because that archer has no need to really come down. I think she will come down to us, especially if we go around those corners. She'll have to come down to us, but I don't want to leave those wizards around too long. Although, at this point in the battle, they may start getting a little bit low on MP. As I was recording this, I don't know how closely I was watching those wizards' MP. Let's see. So that one still got, I think, 21. So two spells or so. Yeah, 21 out of 33. So a couple of spells. The 2 level spells, Fire 2, Ice 2, I think take 10 to 12. I think the level 1s take 6 to cast. So here we're looking at Doubt Faith as a possible choice, but I don't think I'm close enough or fast enough to get any of those before those charges go off. I have learned some techniques about how to get some things charging on fellow chargers like wizards to kind of impact their decision making. It's pretty cool. We'll find that out in a few battles from now. How I discovered that strategy and how I used it. We'll find that out in a few fights. But you can kind of proactively avoid some things from charging type characters if you get things charging on them. If you mark them for a status, you can help that out. It's pretty sweet. Okay, so there goes the Fire 2. It does hit Agrius and the Wizard. So that was her, I think, trying to do Spell Absorb on Gafgarian there. Just because at this point we're still picking up experience, so I was hoping to just kind of snag some free levels from Gafgarian there. So there's the Cure spell going off, recovering a decent chunk of MP. Unfortunate, I think I recovered most of what Agrius did, and Gafgarian's still not really getting up into the swing of things right there. He's not really getting into the thick of it. So no Petrify that time. Here comes another casting. What can we do? This is another Petrify. Can we land it? Let's see. Nope. So 2 Petrifies missed in a row. Let's see if this one will hit. We've got 3 going here. We've got high faith characters we're dealing with, so that is 0 for 3. And you've heard me before talk about you're going to miss all of the Petrifies you don't cast. Sometimes it seems like you miss all of the Petrifies that you do cast. And that's just the way it kind of goes sometimes. You're dealing with imperfect things, and sometimes odds will just not line up for you. But that's okay. So we'll see if we can get one of these guys good. Stop will help with that, obviously. No spell being cast there. That Archer is going to be able to take some characters out, but she's going for, I don't know, a character that she can't do tons of damage to. We do have the defense up there on all of our oracles, so I think Gafgarian is a better target for them in terms of how much damage they can do, because our defense up makes us take less from them. So the casting type characters are in our party almost always going to be the more dangerous ones than the physical type characters. Although later on in the game, your assassination battles are generally against, the knights with special abilities, your Vormovs and your Meliaduels, etc. So I'm trying to see where do I have the best chance to land my Petrify, and that one's really low. I just think because of our alignment, we must have bad or worse compatibility there. Well, I guess yeah. So I think we have bad compatibility to have it that low because we both have high faith characters or higher faith. So she's looking at what she can do. Again, I told you there'd be a lot of calculating and counting, and in my Archer battle, you saw mostly tile counting. You didn't see a lot of AT examination. You saw that, I guess, when we're looking at charges, how high can I charge, but you saw an awful lot of tile counting as well. Yeah, looking at that low one, maybe that wizard just has lower faith than a lot of your stock wizards do. And now with this one being weak and in stop status, I wonder if we're going to go for just an attack here. No, okay, looks like we're going to try to go after this one. Yeah, that wizard really is going to be resisting our paralyzes. So I got a little bit, I'm not sure if it's more aggressive. I'm not sure what the call is there, because I may have tried to take that weak wizard out with an attack. With rods doing such little damage, it could have been that maybe I couldn't even taken him out with a rod hit. I would have needed the spell to go off. All right. Oh, there we go. So the fire took him out. That's why I made that choice. Good choice past me. Because there was a spell being charged. And here comes Gafgarian charging something. And moving himself into it. Is it going to be a cure or a protect? Okay, it is a cure. So Gafgarian is restoring us all a little bit. Thank you, Gafgarian. Coming in with what you came in with. There we go. Anyone else? Yeah, we got a couple of spell absorbs here. Absorb used MP. So that works out nice. Even when you have a defensive or a buff spell cast upon you by a different character, you can trigger a counter and gain that much MP. Okay, so there's that wizard petrified. Now we just have that one final archer to deal with, and that will fail because it's already petrified. So now I think we're safe enough, especially after the heal from Gafgarian, to just charge up here to this archer. I looked at how much pathetic damage it would do. Life Drain will do a little bit more, although not significantly more. It won't do massively more. May have been a better chance or better shot just to do the physical attack and hope for a spell to roll, because it would have been a lot more higher chance to at least do some damage instead of the 62% right there. Gafgarian now is finally getting into offensive mode. Way to go, Gaff. Okay, there's a crystal down there. I don't think there's any risk of the archer getting down to that crystal. Our characters are pretty well in her way. It's going to take her several moves to get down there, and I don't think she's going to be able to do anything about it. So this battle, I know because I didn't turn off the abilities of those other characters because I kind of forgot this one was coming. This is one of those surprise battles. But anyway, that's it. This is not super consequential, so there we go. On to the rest of Chapter 2. If you're liking these videos, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, leave me a comment, or hit me up on Twitter where I'm also active _ATE. We'll see you next time for more exciting Oracles action.